What's news, Artifam? This is Artifact News, coming to you with episode number 18, the Artifact Rimowa Forge. Hey, so what's in the case, right? That's a question I'm sure all 888 Rimowa case holders are asking themselves all week long. As soon as you heard that the Forge was coming, it's just like, oh man, what is in this case? Is it a physical? You know, maybe you open the case, there's a hoodie in there, maybe some shoes, some stickers, t-shirt, something, right? That's possible. I think that's a little unlikely, but that's definitely possible. Based on some of the other deliverables they've had, like back in the day with the Fuo case, it had all kinds of stuff that came packaged in that. So I wouldn't think it's outlandish to think that there's something physical in there. Maybe it's just digital. Maybe when you forge the case, the new NFT that you get back is possibly a mech. Some were speculating that it could be an Animus. I would lean maybe more towards the mech on that, but you never know, right? No one knows anything. The real surprise could be that there's nothing in it. That it's just the case, which is honestly whatever. That case is completely sweet looking. And it's from one of the best luggage manufacturers in the entire world, right? And it's got custom artifact graphics on it. It's got the shimmering lenticular blade on there, just looking great in contrast to those digital graphics. So who knows? It's going to be quite a surprise. So at the outset of this video, that's what we're going to talk about is the Artifact Rimowa luggage. Then the second thing we're going to talk about is the Apple AR headset. You know, and one of the really crazy things about that Rimowa drop, the recent information that they dropped, is just the augmented reality aspect of it. The case in there, and we'll take a look at the video coming up here, but it's so photorealistic, the augmented reality. And I hope you've had a chance to look at the Instagram, at Artifact's Instagram. And if you haven't, we're actually going to go through some of it today because I keep talking about it in all my other videos. And I just want to actually show how unreal the augmented reality is that Artifact can pull off. I mean, their augmented reality capability, honestly, is it unmatched? I mean, there might be some insane crews out there that are straight up focusing on augmented reality. They have some amazing things. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen anything beyond what Artifact's doing that has me as shook as what Artifact has come up with. Like the shoes that they have. These Rimowa bags. They've done like trophies and stuff and like skeletal like promotion campaigns and everything. It's just like, it looks like the things are actually there, but they're not. And honestly, that's always been the dream of augmented reality, right? Is to basically just, it's like magic. I mean, there's something in your environment and it looks like it's there, but it's really not there. That seemed like such a dream a few years ago. To where it was like, you know, one day we're just not even going to be able to tell if it's real or not. And then here comes Artifact along with, and you know, they're an NFT project, by the way. But they also happen to have this insane augmented reality capability. And that dream of things are going to one day look photorealistic, it's here. And it's crazy. And, you know, we've talked about this before. I had a recent tweet about this, how Nike has worked with Apple previously on the Apple Watch. And it's great, too, because it's real synergistic because they don't really compete with each other. So they can actually just complement each other perfectly. And they did on the Apple Watch. The Apple Watch had a Nike band, and it also had a bespoke running app. So they've worked together technologically and in a physical capacity. You know, to come together to promote each other's brands. And now you got Nike, they own Artifact, and Apple is about to release a headset that is quite controversial. I swear, it's just up and down every other day. You know, like, is the team hype on it? Are they not hype on it? People that have seen it love it. Some other people seem like they're trying to distance themselves from the project. We're going to get into all of that a little bit more detail here, but you know, Nike working with Apple to help Apple release what is seemingly a controversial product that Apple isn't really known for releasing controversial products. But they could have Nike help them. And what better way to do it? I mean, honestly, look, imagine this. You have your watch, you look at the watch, and boom, maybe it's like the Nike sneakers app on your watch. A new drop comes out, you look at it, you press a button, you can see an augmented reality, it pops off your watch, and you can see the shoe looking photorealistic right in front of you. You can spin it, you can look at the sole, you can look at the heel, you can just look at the entire shoe, and it looks absolutely photorealistic. That would almost make that Apple reality, that mixed reality headset, like kind of a must-have if you're a sneakerhead. And it would just be a great use case too, because how much fun would that be to show people? It's just like a clear example of where it's all going. And Artifact's the best at doing it. And Apple needs good use cases. And they've worked together before. They should be doing it again. That's all I'm saying. So that's the second thing we're going to talk about. And then the third, we're going to talk about the Animus. And I'm not going to get too far into it right here, but you know, we're going to talk about the possible timeline. When do we think it might be coming along? And also I want to talk a little bit about the wolves, because we've never really talked about it, but in one of the poster campaigns for the Animus, there were these wolves. And I don't know why the wolves are there. I don't think anybody knows why the wolves are there. And I just wanted to talk about it because I was just thinking about it the other day, and I was like, you know what, that's something I want to talk about. So let's just do that, right? Can never really talk about Animus too much. I think everyone's really hyped on it, but at this point, there's not a lot of information out there, so we'll get into it. So, you know, what else is really out there? What's happening lately? I mean, you know, one thing I'm seeing that I'm not a huge fan of lately, honestly, is so much pushback from the video game sphere about NFTs still. And I don't understand it, to be honest. I'm still trying to figure out why this is. But, you know, this happens every single time with almost every type of new product that is going to really shake up an industry. The incumbents in the industry, the traditionalists, they do not want things to change. And whether you're talking about, you know, cameras, when cameras are introduced and how the people who were doing portraits and everything that cameras used to do, like, you know, they didn't want cameras to come through. Or if you're talking about horses, they didn't want the cars to come through. The saddle makers put up a huge fight to make sure that cars did not happen. I mean, come on, we know all this, right? Like, video games had all kinds of pushback too. And who was that from? I don't really know. I mean, is it from the film industry? I don't know. It's just, people have a hard time with new technology coming along and upsetting their cash cows. But as a video gamer, something is pretty clear to me at this point, that going forward, I'm just going to support Web3 games. And whether you're saying Web 2 or Web 3, both of those titles are kind of cringy, right? Like, at the end of the day, it's just gaming, video gaming, and it's really just about ownership. It's about digital ownership. And what's the difference between Web 2 and Web 3? Just one 4-letter word: sell. And that's really what it boils down to. Because you can buy all day long in a video game, right? You can go to the Epic store and you can buy $50,000 worth of V-Bucks if you want. I can go into Destiny and I can go to Eververse and purchase a ton of silver. Every game out here you could purchase all day long, but you can't sell. Honestly, and in a lot of games, if you sell your account or something, man, they're gonna ban you. And that's it. Like World of Warcraft, you're gonna get banned if you try to sell anything. CSGO is the one outlier here, and I hope it remains that way, honestly. I mean, there's been a lot of people cracking boxes on YouTube and getting cool weapons and stuff and being able to sell them. I think it's freaking amazing. That's exactly how it should be. But there's a lot of people fighting against it, and they're big. They're figureheads. I mean, honestly, Tim Sweeney of Epic, he's out here declaring the metaverse dead and literally like trying to rally the troops like the other traditional game companies. And why? Like, I mean, come on, follow the money, right? At the end of the day, it all comes down to money. And if these companies can continue to lease items to us, they will do it all day long. And I don't know. I mean, at this point, it's about digital property, digital ownership. That is what the entire blockchain system, what Satoshi even developed at the outset. It's about digital ownership. And honestly, that just comes down to being able to sell. Because if you could buy something, you should be able to sell it. If it's legal to buy it, then it should be legal to sell it. That's how it is with just about every other product in the world. I mean, imagine if you went into a car dealership and you were like, hey, I want to buy a car. And they're like, yeah, we don't do that. We only lease cars here. And then you went around to every other dealership and they all said the exact same thing. You couldn't buy a car. I think everybody would think that's insane. What about if you couldn't purchase a house? And every bank you went to or every builder you went to, they said, no, we only lease houses. You can only rent them. It would be crazy. But for some reason, we put up with it in video games. And a lot of the reason lately is because the incumbents are trying to convince people that that's what is good for us. And it's very IMF-y and WEF-y, where they're like, seriously, just have fun. You have fun and we'll own everything. You're not going to own anything, but you're going to have a good time. And I believe said something like that too in their keynote, where he was basically just like, don't you just want to have fun with your friends and not worry about owning things? Yeah, of course. Right? Like they want to worry about owning things. They just want to worry about you having fun so that you keep purchasing more things that they own. Whoa. Right? Like it's wake up time. We need to hit the alarm and we need to snap out of this because it's wrong. So, I mean, there was a point in history in the physical realm where we had to fight for property ownership. Like that was literally a thing where humans had to fight for the right to own properties. Or to just own property in general, that you could sell it. And now here we are, like we've seen the digital, how everything's just being dematerialized and digitalized. And now the idea of digital ownership it's a thing, and it's a new thing. It's new, and I think we're still having to wrap our minds around how important it is to us that we actually own our digital items. So I ask you, if you're a gamer, all we have to do is all of us just support people who are willing to let us not only purchase, but also sell items. Or if we're going to grind for thousands of hours in a video game, that we're able to sell some of the items that we grind for. I mean, don't forget that we kind of work for a lot of these companies in some weird ways, right? Like Epic, they do have a Unreal Marketplace where you can go and you can purchase a bunch of items that they make money on, and then they expect us to take those items and then populate levels. So now we're all of a sudden game developers for them and we're making levels for other people to play in their game with items that we purchase from their marketplace. And then also, we are providing the multiplayer, right? You and I, when we join into a Fortnite match, we are the players that make that game worth it. Because if there was nobody populating that, there'd be no one to play against, and there would be no game. So because we show up to that game, we're actually making Fortnite what it is. That's not to like completely take away from what they've done. They created an amazing system where we can all meet and play together and do all of this cool stuff, right? That's great. Also, let me sell my skins. Why can my kids not sell their skins? It's crazy. I mean, back in the day, you could go to Toys R Us, you could purchase a $20 action figure, and if you wanted, you could sell that action figure. Now we have digital action figures. We can't sell them. Doesn't make any sense. It's actually a lot easier to sell them, and for some reason we can't do it. So, fight for your right. Let's get out here and let's do that, right? Okay, so now I'm going to get down from the soapbox, and let's just keep it moving here. First onto the Rimowa, then onto the Apple AR, then we're going to touch on Animus, do a little community spotlight at the end, and then we're going to wrap up episode number 18. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Seriously, there's only like 194 subscribers right now, which is a little crazy because there's like 9,500 clone owners. Whatever. You're here. That's why you're awesome. And I'm here in the bear market, and we're going to do this. But please let anybody else know. Subscribe and like if you can. And let's dive in. Okay, so now it's time to get into the Artifact Rimowa forging event. And what really kicked all of this off, it was this tweet right here, stating it's the Artifact at Rimowa forging event, May 29th through June 5th. What a hype tweet to get, and it's really great to see some of these new images of the case. Oh man, that case is looking completely epic. I loved it. Like the way that blade stands out, it's kind of the perfect complement for it. Because you got those vibrant colors that have nothing to do with like that digital aspect. It's looking more like black and white. And then you have these vibrant colors. And it's, lenticular. So meaning when you look at it from different angles, it looks like different colors. Right? You've seen those things like when you turn your head or you start moving your head, the colors will shift and change. That's kind of what's going on right there. That's the lenticular aspect. So that was the first part of the tweet. And then the second part was be sure to participate in the forging event. Shipping will start in summer 2023. Right in time for your IRL holidays. Find details on how to redeem your physical luggage in the upcoming forging event in the FAQ at the website. So summer, right? It will start in summer. Wow. Yeah, who knows? Who knows when that is going to be? I mean, gosh, what is the official date of summer? June-ish? So anyway, June, July, August, right? Sometime in there. I'm sure we'll see it. The actual delivery, but that's going to be really hype, man. I am so fired up for that. I did pick up a case. Didn't win the actual event, the chance at the event to mint it, and I had to pick it up on the aftermarket, but still really fired up to see that. That will be an amazing drip drop review right there. Can't wait. So what else? I mean, after they dropped those two tweets right there, which was a ton of information, right? Because it's telling us the forging event, which is May 29th through June 5th, and also that it's going to be delivered in summer. Two huge pieces of news. Plus, we got to see the case in action. That's a lot of information. That's just killer. That's all of the stuff we really want to know. But they didn't just stop there. They also released a promo video. And now they released a promo video But then Chris Lee did a voiceover version of it. And that's the version we're going to take a look at right here. So, yeah, listen up. This is Chris Lee giving a voiceover of the video. And I want you to pay particular attention to just how photorealistic those cases look. Okay, here we go.
Ooh, what is this? Oh, Rimowa. Look at these luggages. Hell yeah, I want to forge one. Wow. Hey, what's up, luggages? Okay. Hi. Man, that is sick. Wow, that is so cool. Bye, guys. Take care. Peace. Ooh, what is this?
Crazy, right? Come on. That's... For anybody who's just not all the way in the AR field and just all over it, like, this is... Even if you were, this is just shocking levels of augmented reality right here. Look at those cases. Maybe they're there. Man, maybe they're not. I have a feeling that they're not there. I can't say it with 100%. They look great though, don't they? Either way, but like, tell me if you had the Apple augmented reality headset or the mixed reality headset, and you went into a store and there were items that looked that photorealistic right there. Like Apple, this is it right here. This is your use case. You need to get in touch with Artifact. Like, that is gonna, I mean, not only like are they on the bleeding edge, but like they're in with Nike, and it's just a hype set of promotion. And if Apple knocked on Artifact's door and said, hey, we need something sick. I mean, are you serious? Is there any other company out here, no joke, that you would rather have doing that? I don't think there's any other company you would rather get that nod than Artifact. So anyway, let's not gloss over here. One of the main things that had everybody talking about this video right here is that clutch. That's called the aluminum sling clutch. Okay, so it's like a crossbody bag. And once again, there it is, looking like photorealistic. But clearly, I guess, like the cases, they're actually in position and they're shadowing. So it makes them look like absolutely real. Like you can't even distinguish. The clutch gets floating, so it's a little easier to tell that it's augmented, or it's actual augmented reality, but it's still, the work on it looks precise and perfect. I mean, it looks exactly like the one on the Rimowa website, but it's just sitting there floating. What a great showcase. But the question is, why is this thing such a part of this video? It's such a big part of the video too. Like, look, we open with it. And we're circling around that case. Okay, then we move over to the case here, but we start opening on the clutch. Okay, and then it's gonna end on the clutch. Look at this. We're ending the video on the clutch, basically. Why? That's a big question. I mean, supposedly there's many wearables. We'll see up here in a second a slew of wearables according to the Rimowa website. But is this one of them that might be included inside the case? That seems like that might make sense. And here's something to consider. This clutch, it doesn't have any badging on it. It has no Artifact badging on it. So, what does that make me think? Well, one thing you could think here, because since the worker bots are so involved, is like maybe the worker bots, if you own one, that will serve as some type of a discount pass to be able to forge a clutch in real life. I think that something like that could make sense. But it wouldn't just be that the worker bot is just going to be a forge pass, just a general forge pass for that clutch. Because the clutch doesn't have any Artifact badging on it. So why wouldn't you just go purchase the clutch from the store? right? This is a little subtle what I'm trying to convey here. I may not be doing the best job, but what I'm trying to say is without the artifact badging on that clutch, that makes me think it's either a giveaway, just a digital giveaway that comes with the case. Maybe it's a digital giveaway for anybody that has a worker bot also. Oh man, I don't know. I think maybe more likely that it's a digital giveaway with inside the case and you get it during the forging event, but I think it'd be pretty cool if they did allow that to be a digital giveaway for anybody that owns the worker bot. Maybe not so likely. Anyway, I guess what I'm saying is because there's no artifact badging on it, I number one, either think it's a giveaway, possibly with the worker bots and with the suitcase, or because there's no badging, that maybe if you own a case or a worker bot, you can forge at a discount the one that's in the store. Now, you know, so, and it has to do with the badging, because if there was badging on it, then I would think that worker bot or the suitcase would allow you just to the option to forge it, but with no discount. But because there's no badging, why wouldn't you just go buy one off the website instead of having to include any kind of mint pass or any kind of forge pass? I don't know. I hope I conveyed what I'm trying to say there, or that you understood it. But either way, the clutch looks amazing, and I'm excited to see how that's going to play in here. There's a good chance that was just an ad spot. And Artifact and Rimowa sat down, and they just, you know, they were like, hey, let's just do a cool promotion for the clutch, because everybody loves it. It looks really cool. It's an innovative piece. Like a piece of it's an innovative case, basically. Maybe they just wanted to help Rimowa promote it, which is cool with me. I don't know. It worked for sure. Got everybody talking about that thing for a long time. There was a lot of discussion about that, and you can see on the clutch there's like this strap, and on the strap there's longitude and latitude coordinates. And those coordinates led to a factory, I believe, in Germany. So, pretty cool little Easter egg. But yeah, that store looks really sick too. I don't know. All very cool. Loved that promo video. Super sweet. Great job on that. So, you know, if we go to like the actual website, there's some stuff to consider here. Let's see if there's anything that's really jumping out. I mean, once again, just to clarify, May 29th through June 5th. And once again, you don't really want to miss these target dates here for Artifact, because you could be left holding an NFT that has no further utility, right? You want to make sure you're paying attention to those dates, that you're not out of town, or if you're out of town, that you have somebody ready to be there to forge. So that's good to know. And also, you know, is there a cost to participate in the forging event? Just like the AF1s, you know, the cost has already been paid. So at this point, really, it's just you have to pay the gas fee transaction. The forging events can take place at RTFKT as usual. And then here's the other key piece of knowledge here is that it will ship during summer 2023. Now, what will happen to my pre-forging digital collectible after forging? It'll be burnt, and in exchange you will receive a 721 token. So the pre-forging 1155 is going to be burnt, and in exchange you'll receive it 721. Do keep the 721 tokens, as you'll need them later to link to the physical item via the NFC chips. And if you fail to redeem the 1155 token during the forging event, you will miss your opportunity to redeem the physical item. This is one I was wondering here. So the four owners of luggages with different rarities can I redeem suitcases of different rarities at the same time, or multiple luggages at once? Well, it says no, you cannot redeem suitcases of different rarities at the same time. To redeem suitcases of different rarities, you will need to complete the forging process for each suitcase rarity separately. This restriction is due to a smart contract limitation caused by the randomization process, which was made on-chain during the minting of the suitcases. However, if you own multiple suitcases of the same rarity, you can redeem them all at once. Basically, I was just wondering, like, you're trying to get into the rarity and what is going to be distributed based on the rarity of the four cases. Because there's four cases in general. And they all have different names as well. Oh man, there's just no telling. There's no telling what is going to be in those cases. So yeah, that's the FAQ section. The website's really sweet though. You come up here and there he is. The Wondersmith. Cranking out cases left and right. So when we go over to the Rimowa website, this is... I don't know. I don't know how serious to take this here. During the forging event, a slew of other assets created by Rimowa and Artifact, including 4 different avatar wearables, will be revealed. Alongside the digital and physical iterations of the suitcase, the community will also have the chance to purchase one of the Rimowa X Artifact worker bots. Now, your ears might have perked up here too, because this seems like they're talking about 2 different things here. Because the community will also have the chance to purchase one of the Rimowa X Artifact worker bots. Well, that was at the beginning of this entire process. Not really the forge. So maybe during the forging event, do they have this confused here possibly? I don't blame them, because that definitely can get a little confusing, but let's just take it on their word here. During the forging event, a slew of other assets will be created by Rimowa and Artifact, including 4 different avatar wearables will be revealed. Question 1. Do they consider a digital case a wearable? A digital luggage. We know that the crossbody, that seems like that would be a wearable. Can you consider a piece of luggage a wearable? I mean, you do grab it and wheel it through, an airport or whatever. So in some sense, it's part of your, your repertoire. It's part of your outfit. In a way, it's part of your style. These cases are definitely fashionable. So, is that a wearable? Because we're talking about including 4 different avatar wearables. Man, what does that mean? I have no idea. The use of the word slew. Ooh. That's a crazy one too, because that's definitely more than 2. Probably more than a few. Slew, right? It's not 2. It's not a few. It's a slew. Does that mean more than 4, or is it more than 5? I don't know. But that's why a lot of people are thinking, what's in the case? That's where the whole thing came from, is this website right here, where it's saying that there's a slew of assets created by them, including 4 different avatar wearables. So, I don't know. I mean, what is your guess? Leave the comments in the section below. I'd really like to know what you think is in the cases. Because I don't want to venture too much of a guess here. I don't want anybody to get too... Just how about this? You don't take my guess seriously. Definitely don't purchase anything. I'm not a financial advisor. But if I want to be a goofball here and just actually guess, I mean, I would say that there is going to be different types of mechs inside the case, or maybe that you forge, and then the 4 different avatar wearables, by the way. Maybe it's going to be some type of a hoodie, a Rimowa hoodie, and then, you know, there's different, and maybe there's going to be a hoodie inside the case and a digital avatar version of it. And you get the crossbody case. Right? So we're talking slew. Hey, I'm not the one who typed slew. If I had to guess a slew, I would say gonna get a mech, crossbody wearable, and then maybe some type of a hoodie or something. Yeah, that your avatar can wear, and possibly that same hoodie inside the case. Now, guess what? None of that could be true, and most likely is not. Okay, I don't know what's in there. I'm just totally guessing for the fun of it, because I'm nerdy like that with this. So, yeah, leave me your guess. That'd be great. So, yeah, I think that's really about it. I mean, yeah, there's not really too much else to talk about with this. Like, we've seen the sweet promo video, and I really appreciate these videos. You know, it's like Chris is directing. It just all has like the same kind of feel, and I feel like it really helps define Artifact. Just from the sound effects that, you know, you got Jim Guthrie, Jam Pants, is on a lot of the music, I believe. I'm not sure if he did the music for this or not. But together, like they're all creating a theme, whether it's Jim's music and Chris's like production with all of this, and then I'm sure with the other founders and their ideas and their concepts and everything. It's just it's like really coming together to form this brand identity, and I'm really loving it. So yeah, that's it. Props to the team for, you know, giving us actually for everything that they did here with this. This is a feat to get all this together, so I definitely appreciate it. So yeah, now let's take a look at what we know about the Apple mixed reality headset. All right, moving on. Okay, so now it's time to talk about the Apple mixed reality headset. Mixed reality, it seems like the right way to go, at least right now, right? Because the AR that we all want, which is inside of the glasses, and it's just glasses only, lightweight glasses that somehow are interfacing with your phone or something like that. Like, that seems like, from what I've heard, it's quite a ways out. I think earlier, Chris was saying something like 2 years. I mean, it could be 2 years out, could be 4 years out, something like that. But mixed reality, I'm glad that it's here, because it's actually going to serve as a pass-through or some way for us to just get the augmented reality experience now without having to wait for the perfect glasses. This can get all of the developers rolling and get the great software happening and really put some steam behind needing the real glasses. But, you know, to have those use cases and to see how it works in the real world, that's kind of where we're at right now, and that's what mixed reality is going to give us. And just in case you don't know, how are they going to do that? You know, it's a virtual reality headset, and we've seen those before. But like the difference between like a virtual reality headset and the mixed reality is that the mixed reality has cameras on the front. And, you know, similar to how your eyes work, those cameras, they can observe the environment And when you have the headset on, you're seeing your environment, you know, like you can see it perfectly. So then now that you have that digital environment in front of you, now you can implement those augmented reality use cases. And that's where things start to get really interesting, right? Because, well, I mean, it's going to depend on how well the headset fits, how it looks, how it feels. You know, like no one's going to want to be sweating or become a sweaty mess in this thing. You know, some of the virtual reality headsets are a little tough to have on for an extended period of time. And there's a lot of great games for those. And it can be a little bit tough to have those on for extended periods, but they've been getting a lot better. You know, it's a lot easier nowadays. Like with the Oculus Quest 2 and, the Oculus Quest 2. I know there's some other really great headsets out there too, like the HTC Vive, and there's some stellar headsets that are thousands of dollars and they're like hyper realistic and stuff. But for the typical consumer, the Oculus Quest 2 has kind of been the go-to, and it's not really that uncomfortable, really. But can Apple improve on that, and by how much? Because if this thing could be something that you're comfortable wearing all day long, or for at least, hours at a time, that would be fantastic. And that's what Apple's going to go for here, because there is such a gigantic value proposition for the augmented reality. And I'm not going to get into all of it here. I think, using your imagination, you can understand that once you can start to overlay digital complements over every aspect of life, is that going to be a nuisance? Of course, in some use cases. And then in some, it's going to be like, how did we ever live without this? It's all going to be up to the use case, and then like which software you choose to participate in. And hopefully it doesn't get to a point where it's gross and it's just all over the place, and we can sort and filter and stuff like that, which I'm sure will be the case, because that will win out eventually, because customers will demand that they have a clean environment that they can curate and add only the specific augmented reality aspects that they want to. So it's coming. And why? It's a lot easier to make digital items than it is physical items. It's electrified supply chain. I've talked about this before. Things are moving at the speed of light. And the whole entire supply chain is just completely different and costs a lot less. Has a lot less downstream effects also. I mean, not only does it cost less to manufacture, because it's not capital intensive, you don't have to set up an entire factory to produce something and manufacture it. You can just manufacture it in 3D. So one person can manufacture an item. That item can have all kind of little components to it too. I mean, think about this. Even if you just make a pair of shoes in real life, let's just say a pair of shoes in real life, right? I mean, how many different factories are needed to produce one pair of shoes? Because there's all these factories that specialize in everything, from eyelets to string to laces, plastic, lace, the tip of the laces, like that plastic part there, to the rubber soles. I mean, there's all different kinds of manufacturers involved in each of those processes. And I don't want to get too far deep into this, but each of those manufacturers, they each have machines that are specific for each of those processes, and each of those machines have their own factories. So how deep does that go? I mean, how big of an impact on the environment or physical items do they really have? I mean, you could sit down for hours and try to chase that supply chain around left and right to try to see how big of an actual footprint that the physical manufacturer has. But you can just use your mind and understand that it's a gigantic effort. So when you can just manufacture an item that has thousands of components on it, but they're all just digital, so the one person can manufacture it right there on the computer. And then they can distribute it 24/7, 365 across the entire planet with no warehousing or nothing. I mean, you can see why people would like that in the first place, because of the savings to the environment and to their cost structure and stuff like that, but also just the ease of getting it into other people's hands quickly, which will help them iterate because they can get feedback more quickly from their customers. So you can really start to flesh out like why everybody's chasing this. But here we go. How did this all really start for me? Like, when did I really want to start talking about this again? It's because there is an event coming up, the WWDC from Apple, the Worldwide Developer Conference. You know, this isn't really like a product conference, which is pretty interesting. It's a developer conference, but all of the talk, all of the rumors are that they are going to be introducing the augmented reality headset or the mixed reality headset. And the rumor is that it's called the Reality Pro. I doubt that. I doubt that that's what it's going to be when it lands. But, you know, typically how Apple does things is they will say, here is the product. You can start ordering now. That's usually what they do when they have those keynote speeches. Are they going to do that now? Who knows? I mean, on June 5th, are they going to be like, here's the 15-minute presentation, you can start ordering? Or is it going to be, here's a 15-minute presentation, now we'll be seeing you in November, and you can order then? Who knows? That's, by the way, this is nothing but rumors all over the place for all of this, because Apple hasn't really said anything. I think the strength of the rumors is based on Apple really hasn't denied anything either. So some of these rumors that are out there haven't really been denied as heavily as they maybe usually would. So they're kind of carrying on. But I just said basically that the FOMO for the Apple mixed reality headset intensifies. Rumors are circulating that the reveal could drop June 5th. Artifact is well positioned for the tech. We've seen outlandishly cool examples of their AR capability. And, you know, I'm not going to read this whole tweet. Like, basically, one of the important things from the tweet was that Palmer Luckey, the Oculus founder, he was quoted as saying, the Apple headset is so good. Now, he's the person who found Oculus. He started it. He's the one that developed the tech. So for him to say that the Apple headset is so good is a really great sign. And there was another person that did, another source that had seen it, that it was an anonymous source, but basically gave it rave reviews and was saying that, you know, it turned them from a skeptic into someone that is it's a must-have all of a sudden. That's just rumors. That's an unnamed source. I believe that was from Tom's Guide that I got that information. But there were some really hyped things, and that's what kind of led me to launching this tweet here. But then in the subsequent days, I was looking and doing more research, and you know, there was very controversial here. There's a lot of designers and a lot of like leads on this project that were like trying to walk away from the project because they just weren't feeling it and didn't think that it was ready. So where are we? I mean, is it hype? Is Palmer Luckey right? Are the people that wanted to walk away from it right? I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows which is right? We're going to find out though. And the word on the street is that it's going to be $3,000. That's a ton of money. That's a pretty good computer right there with a pretty good graphics card and a chip. So I don't know. Is $3,000 going to be worth it? You know, there was someone else that said that they were thinking that it was going to be $1,999, $2,000. That would be a really ideal price point right there. I think people would go crazy at that price point. $3,000, gosh, you're really pushing a lot of people out of it right there. But this is going to be developer friendly, right? They want to get these in everybody's hands. the developers anyway, so that they can start making cool software for it. So like, there's so many good people in the artifact community with 3D. I will really strongly advise you that if you really do have the money, it's probably going to be pretty smart to pick one of these up and start developing for it if you can. I mean, who knows where it's all going to go, right? But Tim Cook is super sold on augmented reality, as I think a lot of people in the tech industry are. And it's probably just going to continue to get better and better. And all we can hope is that this first one goes well. I mean, I think I'm going to try to pick one up, to be honest, because I think augmented reality, if done well, just like that video from that Rimowa video that we just watched, it's so hype. Hold on a sec. When those things look photorealistic and they're in your environment, I would think anybody, like, it works really well for clothing, or not for clothing, but for shoes and for those luggage and everything like that. It works really well for those kinds of items. I think clothing's a little bit different because it's really harder, I think, to get the cloth right, to make it look like it's absolutely real. So maybe clothing, but I'm sure there's really great 3D software out there for clothing at this point, so maybe that's not going to be that big of an issue. But anyway, that's where this all kind of kicked off from. And now let's take a look, because I always bring this up, and it's about finally time that we actually take a look at it. And this is Artifact's Instagram. And you know, in the opening monologue, I talked about having a watch and being able to pull up a shoe, spin it around, and take a look at it. This is it right here. I mean, they've been doing this. They've been thinking about this for years. And that's it right there. Like, if Apple needs a use case, this is it. I mean, Nike, they have the sneakers app. They have the Nike app. If you could just use your Apple Watch, press a button, and it comes up here and shows the shoe that you're thinking about purchasing, and you can like scroll it around and look at it, and it looks photorealistic like Artifact is capable of creating. I mean, really, that's a use case right there. That's a reason to purchase the $3,000 headset, because it would be super sick. It would be great to show people. But let's take a look at some other examples that are just super photorealistic. I mean, look at this implementation right here. Like, are those shoes even real? I don't know. I mean, there's a chance that there's real shoes under those shoes, and they have like green stickers on them, and that's how, and then they just apply like an augmented reality thing to it. Maybe that's how it's creating shadows. Who knows, right? I don't know. But those look super real, and obviously they're not actually working with that app like that. They don't actually articulate and have electronics involved. Now look at this. If you're into clothing, look at how sick this advertisement is. That skeleton's not there. It looks like it. I mean, the shadowing, but look at the shoes. Look at, if you're unveiling a new pair of shoes, boom. Like, that's crazy, man. I mean, talk about like moving product right here and just like having a great advertising experience that just actually makes it fun to be advertised to, because most of us hate being advertised to, myself included. But check this out. I mean, clearly that's not happening, but you wouldn't know it. It looks, if you showed somebody from 1980, that right there, they'd freak out. They'd lose their mind with how realistic that looks. Again, this too. I think he is holding a shoe here, but it's not that shoe. That's just an augmented reality overlay on whatever shoe he might be holding there. But look at that, the NZXT PC monitor on the shoe. The shoe itself is a PC. That shoe doesn't exist. That graphics card that's on the side of the shoe with the fan, it's not there. It looks like it's there. I mean, there's so many different things I would love to show here, but look at this Fuo box right here. Gosh. So this is Fuocious. Fuocious and Artifact really made a big splash together. Because, you know, a young emerging artist working with this brand and then creating these really sick shoes. Gosh, where is it? Is this it right here? No. Well, dang. Yeah, oh, here it is right here. Okay, so this is one, the Fuocious. Look at that Fuocious box. It looks like that box is really there. Doesn't it? Yeah, it's not. That's augmented reality. I mean, like, talk about, like, a futuristic product launch right here. Look at that. And also, this talks about the Rimowa case, too. Look how many things were in that box. Stickers, shirt, ledger, looking glass, shoes. That's a slew if I've ever seen it, right? Oh, the old slew joke. Okay. So anyway. Oh, this is the final piece here. Like, I wish they had the one that has the clone heads on it on their Instagram. I don't think they do. But they do have the one with the CryptoPunks. Imagine this. Apple augmented reality headset. You have one on, and your friend have one on. And when you look at each other, you can see a helmet on your friend or a different face, an NFT digital face. You know, maybe the augmented reality headsets understand their positioning relative to each other. And then somebody can move their head, and your Apple AR headset is going to understand the positioning of that other AR headset. So then you could be selling helmets. Helmets or NFT implementation like this. That's another incredible use case that Artifact could help with Apple, which, I mean, honestly, if you're Apple at this point and you're not calling Artifact for this, I don't know what's going on. I'd be wildly surprised if they're not. So honestly, that's about it for the Apple AR headset roundup. Okay, so June 5th, the WWDC, which is a developer conference. It's not a product conference, so who knows what this means. And they've missed a lot of deadlines and dates so far. I've been waiting for the Apple AR headset for a long time now. And that, you know, it gets delayed. It always gets pushed back or whatever. And Apple hasn't said anything official anyway, so they're not even letting anybody down because they haven't said anything. It's all rumors and speculation. But there's some pretty strong rumors that on the 5th, something's going to be happening. If I were you and you're interested, I'd be watching this. I'm going to be watching it. And I'm hoping that they're going to release it. So that's it for the Apple AR segment. And now we're going to move on to the third and final segment, which is the Animus. Everybody's favorite topic. All right. See you there. All right, so now let's talk about the third and final segment here. This is the Animus. Specifically, the Animus Wolves. Right? But let's just talk about Animus in general. Because I know we're all really excited about it, and we really have no idea much about what's happening at this point. We did get some really cool updates from the Gaisai event. We got to see some new 3D models. We also heard Ben say for us to be patient. And he kind of exclaimed that we're going to want to be patient for this. So I've been wondering lately, what is the Animus time frame looking like? And just recently put out a 1-day poll. It's not all the way through. We're about halfway through here. But we got about 219 votes. And so the question was, when do you think the Animus reveal begins? More specifically, when do you think the Animus egg owners can reveal the Animus within their eggs? So, you know, there's the time frames right there, 1 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, 9 to 12 months. Right now, 3 to 6 months is winning. And I gotta say, I do think that that's pretty optimistic. That could be hopiumistic, as Skypa would put it. Yeah, that's... I mean, I don't know. Maybe most people are thinking maybe 6 months or something like that. Which, that puts us into November. Yeah, I could see something similar to that. I mean, I was thinking maybe Christmas. That's what I said in the last video anyway. That I could see them doing like an Animus Christmas type situation. But there were some people in the comments of this poll that were making some good points. And they've almost kind of convinced me that, yeah, we could be seeing, you know, beyond Christmas. So maybe a year from now, who knows? I mean, what is this? What's it going to entail, right? Because, gosh, let's look at some of the questions that people were posting. Okay, so here we are. Let's look at some of the... Can you see it on there? I don't even think you can see it. Let's... Okay, so here we are. Let's read some of the comments here because there were some good ones. And I mean, like the Canadian Thanos, if the team is taking their time, then 6 to 9 months. They need to promote, public sale, incubate, maybe a quest. Yeah, that's a pretty good point. Then there's It's Lit with, we don't even have incubation or hatching yet. No way a reveal happened this year. President came through with incubation will be revealed this year. Extended incubation campaign before they hatch in early or mid 24. That sounds pretty on point right there too. And then secretly trading, don't know anything before a reveal, but think 3 to 6 months year ends and they got to make a move on releasing more information for what's going to happen in the storyline. Ultimately, I'm hyped and can't wait. Protect. So then I think there was, yeah, there's Solomon then back saying winter. Mints saying Clone-tober. Nice shout out there. So yeah, you know, thinking about that, like we do still have to learn about incubation and the hibernation pod within the space pods. There's a lot to digest around that. There's a lot of mechanics around that. How the hibernation pod and the incubation pod are going to synchronize, if they do at all. If there's a way to link your Animus to your clone through that system. And then, you know, we're talking about incubation, right? Like currently, as some of the people in the replies were saying, like incubation, that is denoting a certain time frame for this egg to be ready to hatch. If we haven't even started incubation yet, like if the eggs aren't even in the incubators at this point, then there does seem to be some kind of time frame associated with the incubation period. Granted, we don't know what that time frame could be. Theoretically, incubation, I mean, technically, it could be a day. Or it could be a week. Months. Whatever. A year. I think the underlying subtext is that incubation is going to have like a staking effect, where there's maybe something to earn by incubating your eggs, much in the way as in staking. You know, everybody knows that Ben was or I think it was Ben, was out there basically praising the way that Moonbirds had a staking mechanism. I think they kind of set off some triggers in all of our heads, like, oh, okay, he's liking this staking mechanism. Maybe we'll have staking eventually. And then when Animus came out, it's like, oh, here are these eggs. Oh, there's an incubation situation. Maybe because he liked the mechanism for staking for Moonbirds, maybe that's what this incubation is going to be too, also staking. But that's not 100% that could be it, but I would bet money that would probably be it. Is that there is going to be, the incubation is going to function like staking, where there's going to be some kind of benefit. But who knows what type of benefit? Is it going to be a benefit to the Animus with inside the egg? Maybe it has more power when it reveals, or is there going to be some types of reward points or something that is associated with the longer that you incubate your egg? I don't know. Maybe you have to, if you want to link it to the clone, it's going to take a certain amount of incubation time to do something like that. There's all kinds of mechanics that they could employ if they really wanted to get creative with it. But I agree with everybody's points there that if we haven't even introduced incubation yet, then they have to roll out incubation. And then that's going to have to take a certain amount of time for it to make sense. So if we're not even there yet, yeah, you would think people are they're going to, who knows how long the incubation segment would be. Yeah, I could see beyond Christmas or beyond, something like that. But it seems like in general, most of the community has pretty realistic expectations around this. That they're thinking, 3 to 6 months, and then a lot of people were thinking 9 to 12 months. And then some people are saying even after that. So time frame wise, yeah, that's what we could be looking at here. Nobody knows, though. It could be way different than that. They could come in here 3 weeks from now and be like, boom, here you go. Incubation, 1 week, reveal next week. Ready to go. I don't think that's going to be the case. But, hey, it has yet to be seen. No one knows. Okay, so then another thing I wanted to talk about, obviously, was the Animus wolves. I don't know how up to speed you are on the whole Animus project, but at one point they released a poster that had these wolves on it. And just the other day I was just sitting there, and this happens every once in a while with this poster in particular, where I'm thinking, what is going on with these wolves? I mean, why are these wolves involved in any of this? That art style and everything doesn't completely mesh with everything that's been going on, but in a great way. Like, it doesn't mesh in a great way. So I just said, do you find yourself every once in a while thinking back to the Animus poster? What is going on here? A pack of wolves surrounding an Animus egg? One wolf with pink eyes, nails, and teeth. Another in the back with blue accents. Wonder how this plays in the story, if it does. So let's take just like a larger look at that, because we can get a better look. Okay. So they're dressed in these really cool garments, but they all look like they're part of some type of, not a gang, but some kind of pack, let's say. But they all have the highly zippered, really cool looking jackets. I hope that these things are forgeable, because the cuts on this look really cool, and I think people would love to wear this. I know I would. But what is going on? I mean, this is looking super anime-ish. I mean, from everything, just from like the text, the font, to the art style and everything. But what is going on? So one of my questions is, like, where is this, first of all? Because this was released before Planet Orbitar blew up. So, is this a look back? Like, are these Animus on planet Orbitar? Did they find this egg? Maybe this is one of the eggs that fell during the Twitch Plays artifact, basically, where we answered questions wrong and then a bunch of eggs fell. Did maybe one of them fall through the sewer pipe or something like that and then led to the outside of the factory? And then this is where these wolves found the Animus egg on the outside of the factory. And if so, does that mean the wolves got blown up in Orbitar? Or, if not, where are they? Are they on a different planet? Okay, so which planet are they on? You know? Are they on the new planet that we might be going to? Are they on an entirely different planet? And if so, what does that mean for the Animus eggs? Are these things galaxy-wide? Or... I don't know. I don't know how that would factor in. Maybe there's multiple research facilities or something on different planets. I mean, are the Animus eggs are the only way that they come into fruition is through a research facility? Or are these... maybe they are just scattered throughout the universe, and this is just on one of the planets here. But it's interesting to me because before we hit planet Orbitar, now that's blown up. Now there are these wolves. They're on a different planet. How fleshed out did the team get with this new planet? Like, how seriously developed is this? And what the heck are the wolves doing? I mean, we've all heard stories. It's almost like an old trope in some way where it's like, were you raised by a pack of wolves? You know, like people being raised by a pack of wolves. I think there actually was a human that was raised by a pack of wolves or something like that. So here, these things look... they don't look like they're necessarily trying to destroy this egg to me. They all look cunning and like, oh yeah, we found an egg. Like they've been searching for this type of egg. This Animus. And that they're going to raise the Animus or use it to fight in battles, because maybe Animus are known throughout the galaxy to be valuable in battles. So now they're going to raise this Animus. And if so, that was making me wonder, maybe this is kind of foreshadowing a little bit of the incubation in a way where, like, if these wolves raise this egg, is it going to be like a wolfish version of an Animus? Which, I don't know. Then maybe that means that, you know, I'm obviously, hey, we're speculating out here. We got nothing to go on. So the wheels are incoherently turning. But maybe it's kind of speaking to the fact that, you know, if you incubate, if you raise the egg with a certain clone or something like that, that it will have some kind of like tie-in with the egg. Who knows? Maybe those wolves are going to raise a chicken-like Animus, and it's going to have nothing to do with wolves. I don't know. I do know that for some reason they definitely had this wolf have pink eyes, pink fangs, and pink fingernails, and then there's a wolf in the back with the blue face that looks kind of chieftain-like, or maybe a mage or something. I don't really know. So, I'm not sure. I love these wolves. Love the gear they're wearing. They're on a planet somewhere. No one knows where. Or maybe this is just a historical look at this time when these wolves found this egg and then Orbitar blew up. That would not make any sense. I don't think that story would make sense, which leads me to think that they are on a different planet. Maybe the planet that we are going to, possibly we'll see the space pods our space pods land on a new planet, and then these wolves are going to be kind of like the creatures that kind of run that planet at the current time. And then we're going to be showing up with just a batch of Animus. And then these guys are going to be raising their own Animus. Maybe our Animus fight their Animus. I've never said the word Animus so many times in my life. So I'm going to try to stop that at this point. So, you know, that's all I got. We got a community look at the time frame, which was a little bit of an eye-opener for me, because I guess now I understand that the community really is thinking a little bit more long-term, 3 to 6 months, or even some people thinking 9 to 12 months or further out. So that's kind of a good piece of knowledge to know. And then other than that, just some wild speculation on the wolves here, where I'm thinking that they're on a new planet, and possibly that's the planet that we're going to, and maybe we're going to see some Animus that have been raised by wolves, and our Animus are going to battle theirs. I said it 3 more times. 3 more times in the last 3 minutes. Okay. So that's all I got for the Animus segment. This has already been a really crazy long video. So, but that's all I wanted to talk about anyway, is just the wolves and how they might factor into the Animus storyline. Okay. All right, so now I just wanted to highlight some of the cool things that I've seen around the community lately. And first, we're going to start with Gotcha Ghost. I believe that's how you say it. It could be Gotcha Ghost, but I think it's Gotcha Ghost. And you can already see that his art style, or their art style, is amazing. But then they've been creating these really great Clone X cards. And look at those. This is for Yuka. And they're just so well done. Like, it's perfect. I would love to play that game. So Gotcha, I hope you get that game made. But yeah, it just looks perfect. I love the card back. Man, that is killer. But the format of the front, or of the actual card itself, is so good. I mean, super professional and absolutely killed it. So I wanted to give some love there. And then to Blender Doc. Yeah, this shoe right here absolutely blew me away. I mean, this is augmented reality, like, just killer style right here. I mean, if you're Apple and you're seeing something like this, I mean, these are the type of use cases right here that are going to get people to want to purchase those headsets. Just even for novelty's sake, to be able to just take a look at a shoe, for instance, and have it go wild like this. You know, like, that would be something, like, if you owned a headset and a shoe that this works with, you would love to just show somebody else, you know, just say, look at what this is capable of. So anyway, yeah, that is a really cool, great style here. So, yeah, then the next one is Ollie. And Ollie has just been putting out some gold lately. We'll take a look at that other one next. But this is a video here that was put together from the Artifact creators. It's like a compilation of all of Ollie's recent work. And, you know, Ollie's an Artifact creator, but look at these animations right here. The hair, like the subtle bounce to all of the hair. And, like, even on that one from Kuro right there, like the way his sword was like that. I don't know. Just, there's so many subtle touches on all of these clones here. The octopus hat there for Solomon, like, you could see the tentacles kind of moving. And then look at the hands moving for alts. I mean, oh, I love this DOB hat. Look at the DOB hat right there. Oh, man. That character would be so cool. But these look like prime time ready for a show. I would love to see a show based on these animations right here. Like, that needs to happen ASAP, because this looks like their personalities are really brought to life with this animation style. So I don't know, killed it. But also, yeah, I just want to say hopefully you can see the Twitter profile there, but you can follow Allie at AALASADY_. And let's take a look at the other one here. Hysterically perfect comedic timing. Love that. That's the Animus shark right there. That's the Nauticoda. That's the Animus egg. So yeah, that's great. And also for Blender Doc, you want to follow a Blender Doc, that's at Blender DAC. And then for Gotcha, it's at the number 9 INE_ghost. So yeah, those are some great creators there putting out some killer work. So yeah, that's about it. Now, let's exit. Thank you for joining me on episode number 18, the Artifact Rimowa Forge. This has been a really super long video. I didn't intend for this, but there's just a lot of stuff to talk about, especially when you start delving into just the Apple augmented reality stuff and how that could affect all of us. But then this sweet Rimowa Forge that's happening, and oh man, there's a lot going on. And I can't wait to hear more about Animus, but you know, what's next, right? Well, we're still getting through the Season 1 Forgeables. Then we're going to have the CIRL event, right, where they're going to be shipping those out in August. And then, gosh, later they'll be shipping out the AF1s. That will be a huge deal. That's Q4. Then I'm probably going to be getting some type of Animus news at some point, I would think. So that's a big one right there. It would be nice to get even some piece of Animus news, especially related to the incubation and the hibernation. So that's what I'm looking for, is Animus related news. I'm going to be seeing a lot of CryptoKick in real life news. Could that lead to some news about the move to earn? Possibly. And then later in the year, we're going to see, the AF1 delivery, and then possibly even more Animus news as we get closer into fall. But, there's also Byredo. Then there's going to be this Rimowa drop in summer, the delivery. Then we'll see what's inside the case. And, what's going to be inside there. That could have some lore aspects to it that lead us in some new directions. So those are all of the things in terms of what's next that I'm thinking about. And yeah, I don't know. If you have any ideas for the channel or anything you would like to see me talk more about or less about, please let me know in the comments below. And please, if you haven't by now, please subscribe and like this video. They definitely take a lot of effort and work, but it's totally worth it. And I have a lot of fun doing it anyway, so whatever. But it would definitely help. And once again, really, truly, thank you for the support. So until next time, go news yourself.